Last week, that was last week, Victoria asked anyone to think about panel questions. But obviously, you will start thinking about them once you will be in front of the panel, obviously. We need some PRs, no demos, no topics today. 10/28, 25. Demos. Who has demos? Nobody has demos. Who has topics? Nobody has topics, but we'll have them eventually. So here, moving it there, Orchard 1 status, Orchard 1, Benedict still active, nothing since last week though. He's on a break. Orchard go 21st. We have that. Do not overwrite binding source. Well, it's already added. George trying to fix an issue with templating that sometimes it doesn't work when you provide the template in a module specifically. So hopefully it's fixing the issue that the user reported. Hopefully it's not fixing more things that already work, aka adding bugs. So far so good, George. Have you checked?
I hope so. This is actually fixing a bug that is introduced with another fix that we introduced in 2.21. And this hopefully should just work.
Nothing new since last week, so that's good. Document the new DisplayAsAsync, the one that does morphing for you. I was like, it's called document, and I just see code changes, but it's more about this file. Does it mean we can't do razor shape morphing in liquid? So sad. Not sure we could before, but
no, you can, but you need to do manually.
Well,
or there's a liquid helper which is called shape type something. There's one.
Reduce allocations, so less allocations. Removed binding source, so you did that. It's interesting that you did this change here, list to iRead-only list. I don't.
Yeah, because it's an empty array now, if it's not used, to avoid allocating it.
I see null.
Yeah, this is for initializing, but it's set below.
Well, that's a different one, sorry. So that's a local one.
Yeah, and the local one is only used if it's actually required. Otherwise, it's an empty array. So the diff is kind of useless here. That's all in the constructor.
Yeah, but in the constructor, you initialize that.
Right.
And then if in the end there is something, you say, let's assign it to that. If there is nothing, well, you always assign it to that. And then if it's empty, if it's null still, you say, well, let's put an empty array instead.
Right.
It's kind of weird. So first,
Yeah,
this could have been
otherwise you
just
have
one
to,
line. This could have been this
with
there
casting
first.
and all the stuff, then it's super ugly code.
Oh, you think?
In my opinion, yeah.
And
Because creating, for example, creating async is a list implementation. And if you just do the null coalescing operator, it will be a new list. So you either have to cast to I read-only list or something else.
Victoria, we already mentioned that we should think about panel questions, if this is what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to only say that if you are still thinking about joining, then please let us know as soon as possible, because we need some final decisions and final organizing. So that would be really cool to know how many people will be there. And I encourage you to join.
Cool.
So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you people know about the conference? Did I tell you? There's a conference next month. Helping Victoria here. Creating and this is a list. Okay. Removing binding source, removing binding source, removing binding source. This is just a benchmark. This is also a benchmark. This is benchmarks. Oh, this is just to compare the different. Okay. When was it merged? 24th, 4 days ago. Then update not breaking dependencies, AWS as usual, the phone number as usual. Elasticsearch. Then George said, let's only introduce the class for the whole framework, not .NET 8. And by the way, BTW. Maybe you all know that now .NET 9 is supported for as long as .NET 8. And that has been done explicitly to prevent people from multi-targeting 9 and 8 because 8 is LTS, which means it's supported longer than 8 for sure. But if you start with 9 before last month, if you targeted 9 only, then eventually 9 will not be supported while 8 will still be supported. Okay. And then if you targeted 9, then you will always have to move to 10. It's not the case anymore. The end of support for 9 is the same as the end of support for 8. This means I don't think we have a reason now for at least the web app and the libraries if we use specific features, but otherwise we should be able to just target 9 or whatever the latest is. If I remember correctly, that the reason we were always targeting 2 versions, we've done since the beginning, was that we didn't want people to get out of the LTS because they will not get supported eventually. Just saying, like Mike, you run on the .NET 9, right?
Yes.
I'd like to know if someone is still running on the .NET 8, what's their reason? Like you don't need to change, you don't have to. Maybe we should find an issue. I will find an issue. Let me find an issue here. Oh, it's a discussion. It's more discussion. Let's write discussion. I want to see what people think. It's too slow. It's my machine. .NET 9 LTS versus .NET 8 LTS. The question doesn't make any sense. I just want to get the blog post. Cable, no way. .NET 8 and 9 support and 8. Let's look at that. There's even a website for that. You see, now, if you look at .NET 8 support and .NET 9 support, they end at the same time. So any fix that would be done in .NET 8 will be in .NET 9. It's possible that some fixes in .NET 9 don't go back to .NET 8. So it's even better for .NET 9. But anything that will be done in .NET 8 in terms of security, in terms of support, will be also done on .NET 9. And during this period, we can decide to switch to .NET 10. And so on, like 11 will have the same end date as .NET 10. So when it's available, we could decide to switch to .NET 11. the reason someone might not want to move from the .NET 8 to the .NET 9 might be that there is some process for them, some time they need to validate that something can be deployed in their company. Like, okay, from 8 to 9. But I assume that at some point we could say like, yeah, you've had time to do that, so now we can request to have .NET 9. Otherwise, we will never change like, oh, let's not support .NET 10 and drop .NET 8 because they need more time. I think that at least when we get the new one, we should be able to drop the older one. At least, if not just take one, like when .NET 10 ship, we could say, oh, let's support 10 and 9. And after a while, let's drop 9 because you've had time to support 10. I will point to this page. Discussions. Let's start a discussion. STS meaning short-term support. That LTS would be supported even after the current STS 9. Since recently. It's not the case anymore. Option A, support 2 versions as soon as new ones are available. 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11. Option B, support 1 version latest sometime after it ships. For instance, 9 today. And then three months after it ships. Option C, a mix, both latest versions for some time, then as soon as the new one ships, then drop the previous one after a while. Example, 9 today, 9, then when then ships, then in 3 months. Slower velocity. Simpler, most simple. Most simple. Simplest? Do we say simplest? That's the simplest thing? Yeah, simplest. Believe. And then more work all the time. Some discussions. So. Is time to validate a new version. An option B and C. Will it be fine? Okay. B and C being we wait a little before we switch. C meaning we incorporate the new one as soon as it's available and drop the older after some time. So C is more open than B, and A is like, no. It's A and B, A and C. I should put that at the top. A is support one version. No, they're all actually compatible. I didn't provide the thing which is always update to the latest and forget about the rest. So support one version, the latest, sometime after ships, 9 today, and then 3 months after it ships. Okay, so it's one version is always supported. Support 2 versions as soon as a new one is available. 9 and okay, always support 2 versions. A mix both latest for some time. Are all valid. Option D. Also, always support. In main, always target. Okay, so that's important. Like, this is just about main actually, because if we ship 2.1 with 8 and 9, then 2.1.1 will still be with 8 and 9. We will need a 3.0 to or change main to read that. So I think D is nice because you want long-term support while you also get altered long-term support. Meaning we won't break you, but you won't get the latest because you are on the release. So you don't need the latest. Because you don't need the latest, then you don't follow the option D. Okay. Remember this last comment when there is this discussion, because that might be important to tell people, yeah, so you're fine with us moving to 10 tomorrow because you are still using 2.2. If you want slow development, then you don't follow main, you follow release something. And then you have some time to update. Cool. Where were we? Talking about this because 9 or greater, because in .NET 9 there is this thing already, span split enumerator, which is a class that allows us to split a read-only span and manipulate its different segments without having to allocate strings. Workflow updates, updating all the dependencies, upload artifacts. That's something automated. Update GraphQL packages. And so this is good, that's happening. And fluid.core 230 and markdig. Cool. So anything special here? PRs, issues?
I'm not sure. I haven't been able to look. I've been super busy. I seen George is working on a new issue here with that top VR, the I-shaped table provider.
Scares you?
No, he's actually fixing a bug that.
So.
Yeah, but we just gotta test it out.
Got that fix shape table conversion, improve caching efficiency. Don't parse placement files multiple times.
Some minor optimizations.
So minor that I'm still trying to understand what's the point. Sorry, if a module has a place, so that I thank you for that because
I repeated it again. I'm sorry.
Because it was not clear there. Okay. If a module has a placement and multiple features, each feature parses the placement. So that's why now I get your thing about indexing by placement ID. Sorry, by feature ID. No, it's stupid. So what is extension
ID? It's a module.
Thank you. I made it. I just don't remember anymore what this means. But I swear I made this thing. So you say, okay, so now it's the module. Beautiful. That's a fucking name, extension. When we wrote that, it was obvious. But if you stop using that term, then you don't remember anymore. So
Yeah,
placement,
it's hard to
okay.
follow.
So if we have multiple features in a module, the placement file will be parsed once. Sure. At least, okay, good, done. I was thinking like maybe we, even for tenants, but you say no, because each tenant has its own shape, whatever, which surprises me. Like this thing, I thought it was common to everything. So that's like, all the shape descriptors and everything, they are shared across cache, across tenants.
This could be shared, but I didn't change so much, so I just introduced a small improvement.
Yeah, it's not a small file. Okay, yeah, fine. Good. Okay, so that's an improvement. And what I put in the original issue, maybe one of them, I don't know, maybe not, was inside the placement itself, there are some rules, some placement rules. Let's pick a file. But thinking about it, that must be super stupid, what I'm about to say. Yeah, it's like, it's peanuts. I want a good placement here, something with that. Something like that. Yeah, so we do parse things. So I thought there might be some things to cache here, but no, because it's very unique every time. Like it's for a placement file, for location, you have that, and there is nothing to cache here. Maybe there is some improvements in the parsing because again, we can use spans and not strings. I don't know what we do here, probably, if you haven't done it already. But yeah, who does that? Like, so yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. In the placements, there are lots of optimization possibilities, but it's super hard to follow the code and understand it.
Okay, and maybe the gains are
really small.
Yeah, okay, so that's an improvement. So, and concurrency.
Yeah, that's also just a minor optimization. It reduces some allocations and just makes sure the shape table is only built once per
What
tenant.
are you doing? Dictionary of task? What is that?
Just removing an allocation.
Wait. I have an idea of what you could do with that. Oh, wait. Yeah, I think I know what you do with that, but you should reuse. No, be careful. Yes, you should reuse what we have already. Okay. I think I know what you're doing here. I see. Yeah, you are doing what I'm super good at because I implemented it in ASP.NET Tag Cache Helper, in shape caching, and in ASP.NET Output Cache. So reuse the thing I will show you instead of doing that. I know what you're doing. It can't be better than what we use everywhere else, and that's still simple. What I think you're doing is multiple concurrent things can ask for the shape table to give them a shape table cache, or this thing to give them a shape table. And how it was done probably before was using a lock. Like it's a big lock and everyone is waiting on this lock before getting the result, right?
No, it was just a scoped semaphore. It was just for the current instance of the shape table manager, which is also scoped. So it was not correctly synchronized when there are multiple requests. This didn't matter because the shape table cache is a concurrent dictionary, but you can end up building the shape table twice. So this is the logging.
When you say concurrent,
It is. It's coming from the
oh,
I.
sorry, I don't
Which
see
is
the I.
yeah.
So you say this thing is coming from the I? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I remember this one. Good.
We wrote that.
And
so we can either remove the semaphore altogether and just end up building the shape table twice in the rare cases, or
so
just
explain to me. Shape table cache is a concurrent dictionary coming from the DI, which is a
correct
host, which is a singleton
it's
for
a
everyone.
tenant. It's a tenant singleton.
So two tenants will have two instances.
Right.
It's bad. No, that's super bad.
No, this is the per tenant cache. There's also a per app cache, which is also a concurrent dictionary, but this is yes, it's a static in the same class.
This one is supposed to be in the same
class. This one
is
the build shape table for the current theme of a tenant.
Oh, and there is a static one. Okay.
It's there too.
Oh, it's written there, just in case you forget. Parlot singleton cache to hold tenants theme shape table. Okay, this is the one for the current tenant, and this is the global one. Beautiful.
Yes.
So what is broken today?
Today, building the shape table cache, the per tenant one, this one.
Yep.
This is supposed to be locked and for concurrent access. But this is only
we are loading multiple modules concurrently, multiple features concurrently. And we want them.
This is just if you hit a tenant twice during startup or something else. It should be built a single time. It was using kind of a double lock pattern. I'm just using a per tenant semaphore now instead of the scope one.
Semaphore. Oh, the semaphore was scoped?
Yes.
Stupid. Yeah, the lifetime of the
this
thing
is bound
here.
to the same lifetime as the shape table manager, but the other one is static.
Yeah.
So
well,
this one is not a static one. Yeah.
This one is. So what is the shape table manager?
It's scoped.
Scoped.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad. So the semaphore will be scoped, and the cache will not be scoped. It will be shared. It will be singleton.
Correct.
So we were looking with, yeah, it's stupid. And it could have been useful, still not completely, if we are loading, and I think we are loading that concurrently, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
it's possible. It's super rare. It should be safe, but it's
okay. So what did you do? Rare. Instead of putting changing lifetime, decided to have.
No, I'm using the local log of Orchard, which is a named list of semaphores. This is a singleton.
Okay, I would not suggest to do that. I will go far away from that just for this thing. What you're trying to prevent is two concurrent things in the same tenant from building
correct
the same thing or returning the same thing. And this building is a task. So I would suggest two options. Make a semaphore that is per tenant, but that's probably what this thing is doing somehow.
With the advantage that this doesn't hold on the semaphore forever.
Or do some still keep this thing here. Where is that? The shape table cache, which is shared. So let me show you what we do in Where should I take that from? I will take this one from we do that in the cache. At least it's in SQL also. So even in SQL, it's beautiful. Where is SQL? Schedule. Work dispatcher. Pretty sure we have the same class in Orchard. Orchard. Is it called the work dispatcher also? It is not called work dispatcher. I must have invented a better name. Schedule. Let's look into ASP.NET Core. So first there is this one. So what does it do? It's a class that is autonomous. It has a concurrent dictionary of task of something. Reminds you something? Dictionary of task, and it's generic key, generic value. So that matches anything. When you say schedule with a task and a key, it will either evaluate this task and give it to you, or if someone already has a task running with the same key, it will give you the existing task and eventually catch any exception and then give you a new one, release everything. It's beautiful. So you just say you have a work dispatcher with the same scope as you want to share. So in our case, .NET. And then it will handle, and you say, give me the task for this key. And that's it. You don't have to acquire logs or whatever. It does it for you. Every SQL query that goes through SQL uses that. So it works. And every cached page by the output caching in ASP.NET Core uses that also. It works. Every tag cache helper that uses ASP.NET is also using that. And I'm pretty sure the cache in Orchard Core is also using that. So here, if we go to output cache middleware, schedule, yeah, request dispatcher. It's called also SchedulAsync, which is work dispatcher. It's magic. Okay, same class. And I'm surprised it's not called the same thing. Yeah, but we definitely have that. Probably in the dynamic cache. I'm surprised we don't have it in dynamic cache. Or can't I find it? Yeah, who knows? But yeah, you have two examples here. Okay, work dispatcher in ASP.NET Core and in SQL. So if we don't have it in Orchard, which I think we have, we must have this thing already, then you should use that, I believe. Looking is fine, but what you're trying to do is already a component that is proven to work. And
yeah, so the current change doesn't change a lot. It's just really simple. Some minor optimizations only.
yeah, I don't trust these things.
Oh, I fixed that as well in another PR.
Because it doesn't work.
No, it's working, but there's a minor leak of semaphores.
Return awaited.
Async.
What's the point of saying return awaited?
Wait async, yeah, this is
Because there is no return theme. Like you should be able. This pattern is used only if there is a case where you don't need to return the awaited.
yeah, it's most of the time. Most of the time, this just completed.
No, but I don't see the if here.
It's above.
Oh, sorry. Where is that? No, I don't see any if.
If try get return shape. table.
Sorry. That's why you say that. Okay. Okay. That's not like okay, this thing adds it to the shape table cache. This awaited thing adds it in the end. No, it's
Yes.
just trying.
Yes, it's in
Try
the
it.
build shape table async in the private method.
This thing.
Yes. And this is inside the log as before.
I see it's double log. Okay, so
Yeah.
you didn't get it preemptively. So you're like, okay, now let's lock. Add it to where the new one to add it. And then they release the log.
Correct.
Yeah, that's so this thing will do that for you. And you will just have to say schedule,
Yeah, sure.
boom, and done. Yeah. So and probably we have that in our tutorial. You will see. You will, and then you will know.
Yep.
Awesome. Lots of things. So I saw new things in Fluid. Look at that beautiful Fluid. New version 230 with lots of things. So many things. What is that? Implement get hash code, derivative dictionary value. It's just to be able to compare arrays and dictionaries in Fluid. Now you will be able to check if an array is equal to another one. It was not working before. It was checking references instead of values. So that's kind of quite a bug that is important to fix. Allow comment tags between cases and when blocks. So this one here, yeah, you could not write a comment there. Now you can, and in anywhere also that didn't work. So now it's completely fixed. Combining with as the render tag. Maybe we don't use that much, but some users use render a lot. So now you can use with and also properties, which you could not do that before. And it's supported by the standard, so it's fixed. Using the hash sign for inline comments. This is an inline comment. So inside a tag, anywhere, you can have that. No, sorry, not inside a line, anywhere. It's instead of the comment tag, you can use this symbol now. It's shorter than comment. Shorter than that, okay? Like 2 tags and so it's inline, so you don't need an end tag and a start tag. You can just write that. Standard liquid, again, equal operator to use value equality instead of reference equality, so related to that thing. Example. Oh yeah, if you have Fluid values that represent objects, if you have objects and you do equals to something, it will use the equal from the type. Instead of doing reference equality, it will use the type that equals. Implement binary expressions returning left operand. So something that was wrong for a long time, always, but super wrong, which is that, going back to conversation, which is that when you do render 2 equals 3, today Fluid will render true. Sorry, false, right? Because it's false. False. Now it will render 2 because in Liquid, when you output an expression or binary expression, if you output a binary expression, it will output the left operand of the binary expression. So now it will output 2. And that's per Liquid standard. So the left operand is written. But if you do, same thing with filters. If you do 2 equals 3 pipe plus, it's not false pipe plus, it's 2 pipe plus. Okay. But if you do 2 equals 3 in an if, then it's really the Boolean expression. So that was not broken, it was working fine. So assign x equals false or data. You see assign x equals false, return. I'm lost. What does it do? Assignment with filters. X. Yeah, probably it returns the X and then all data returns false. Append O. False, all data returns the left one, false. Append O returns false O. Okay, and nothing else was broken, so that's beautiful. Fucking button in front of my screen. Let me move something. You don't see what I'm moving, but I'm moving it. Going back here. Snake case conversion, there was a bug with that. Someone mentioned issue was that if you have a property with 2 uppercase, it would just do I uppercase, D lowercase, I believe. And now it's producing lowercase. Okay, and if you have ID security, it's ID underscore security and not ID S underscore security, something like that. So now it's all beautiful. JSON data. So it's detecting 2 or 3 jars. Boom, better. String comparison support to binary operators using C# standard. This was not working. You could not do A lesser than B. It was wrong. This should be true, and it was false before, so now it's fixed. So many bugs. Support for identifiers that ends with question mark, because in Ruby it's supported, but there is a flag to support that also now. Guard against null value rendering. This is just to prevent when you have a property that is null, or if you pass a model that is null, it will throw an argument exception. And then this one also, if you set a date time that is mean value and you are living east of London, so UTC plus something, then it will create a date time that is smaller than the minimum value of the date time offset. So it will break. Now it's checking if your mean value, if the date you pass is less than 24 hours of the minimum, then it will say it's the minimum. So it will bind automatically. It will prevent the overflow. So that's good. All these, most of them, you see 90% of these issues, Copilot. This weekend, I just went over the issues. I looked at what made sense. I'm like, okay, that's a bug, or that's a feature we should have, or that's even old things that I was like, I will probably never be able to fix that. I don't understand how it works anymore. I just assigned to Copilot and it went with the solution. So if you want to look at examples of implementation and thoughts it had, sometimes I would explain what I wanted it to do. Like for instance, the left to parent, whatever, it didn't fix it. And then I found an ID and I gave it the IE and it went to implement it. So super nice. So lots of new features in Fluid 30. That and something that Copilot has been working on. Where is Orchard? This one. So first I got Copilot to build a SQL grammar as a Parlot sample. And then I asked Copilot here in Orchard to use this grammar to replace the one we use for irony. And it did well. It's passing right now 75% of the tests we have for SQL generation. And I've done some commits locally already to fix some things, and I found some limitations in Parlot, so that's great. But it's looking good. So the grammar it generated on Parlot looks like this. This one. See a select from a where, a join, and so on, all the keywords, and then it says, for instance, let's look at the from clause. The from clause is from, and then a list of tables, and then a list of joins. Okay, that's how it works. The select statement starts with select, and then has a list of restrictions, like select all, something like that. Then colon list, like star, user, name, whatever. Then some from, where, goodbye, having, order, and so on. That's how it works. So super easy. And it wrote everything. Beautiful. And it also wrote the translator. Well, it ported the translator from the old AST built in Irony to the new one. The new one is a concrete AST. So we have statement list, we have from clause, we have all these things from SQL. Before this PR, you would have that maybe. Yeah, before this PR, you would have to look at child nodes, which were just, you see a list of name value. So you have to check the string inside to be able to see what's happening. Child node 7, 6, 5. How is that strongly typed? You see? Oh, let's pick the fourth node of the thing. So you change something in the grammar and everything is broken because everything is moved by one. So super breeder. And now you just say, give me the property name foo instead of the 8th node. That's why it's better also. The code should be simpler to read. Yep, that's it. Antoine, what time is it in France? Did we switch time zones?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm late.
well, that's why. I wonder why you were not there. I checked even if there was.
Okay, we switched last weekend and I'm late.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I had no idea.
When do you switch in US?
I don't know. Next week, maybe.
Okay. I've got the same thing every 6 months.
Yeah. So sad. I didn't know it was so close. I saw some news about it, but I'm like, yeah, with time. No, we don't have time.
So November 2nd, we changed. So this Sunday we change.
Okay.
Or Saturday. No, Sunday. This Sunday we change.
This Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we are all done. Now Antoine is here. We can start the meeting. Thanks, everyone. See you on Thursday. And be careful, Antoine and Dave. Dave knew because Dave is already was already on time. No, were you on time, Dave? Maybe not.
Yeah, it will be too early for me. I will be commuting at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.